What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Roll that intro. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk with me, Dan. Today we are looking at the brand new 2023 Fender Signature Mike McCready Strat. Checking out the specs at the body on this, it is a heavily relicked older body. We've got a 5-way switch, volume and 2-tones, your input jack, Fender trem system on here. We've got 3 Mike McCready signature 60s style single coil pickups. And then just in case you're wondering, no backplate on the back on this one. Looking at the neck specs on this, we've got a maple neck that has been worn down with the road-worn finish, so it's a nice satin feeling finish on there. It is a 60s C-shaped profile, so it's a bit thinner than your modern C-shaped profile. We've got aged dots on a rosewood slab board. We've got 21 Jescar medium vintage frets, vintage style tuners on here. We've got Mike McCready's signature on the back of the headstock, and it's a 25.5 inch scale with a 9.5 inch radius. The sounds and tones that you can get out of this guitar are very, very cool. The Mike McCready set of pickups that they've designed for this are definitely, to me, a step above the usual 60s style or vintage style pickups that they put in a lot of their Mexican-made instruments. They still have a little bit of ice pickiness, especially on the bridge pickup when you're on a clean sound, but it's got more of that 60s hollow characteristic that I really like about 60s style Strats, especially when they've been done very, very well. There is a treble bleed circuit in there as well, so when you roll the volume off, it stays nice and clear and retains the treble without muddying up or getting too dull sounding, which is awesome. With the guitar, you can get anywhere from classic Strat style clean tones up to, I think they've put some effort into how this handles high gain, because it handles high gain very well, and you can take it anywhere from clean up to high gain sounds, anywhere in between. This guitar just handles all of it very, very well. Finishing on this is a little bit mixed, I guess, depending on how you look at it with price compared to custom shop and all that kind of stuff. I'll start with the neck. The neck to me feels awesome. It's a nice worn finish, which to me has been done better than a lot of custom shop Strats I see, where you get that gloss, 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 a straight line, very, very worn, and then a straight line, gloss, gloss, gloss. This feels a lot more gradual and natural, and it feels great to my hand. The wear on the body itself, now from a distance, it looks really, really cool. And if you've got a picture of Mike McCready's guitar and you look at the two, and you're looking at this from a distance, you can see that they've got the general wear pattern right, they've got the general feel of it right. But when you get up close, and I am a fan of relic guitars, my favorite Telecaster that I own is a road-worn Telecaster, and I'm a fan of relicking. But when you get up close on this model, it looks very cheap. I know, obviously, this is a cheaper version of the limited custom shop run that they did, and I know obviously it's a cheaper version of his 60 Strat, and there's a lot of relicking to do at a mass-produced level, but you can see, so for example, around the edge here, there is lots of dings, probably 50, 60 of them all around the edge, and you can tell that it's the same edge of the same instrument where they've gone along and done it all the way around. It's very consistent, and there's no kind of like, oh, it got hit here by this and it got dragged here by this and it accidentally got scuffed by this. It's very, very uniform. And I get, obviously, as I said, it's a cheaper version of a custom shop finishing that they did, but it's a £1,700 in the UK, £1,800 in the UK, something like that. It's still not a cheap guitar. So the relicking on this reminds me very much, I don't know, in the UK we've got a brand called Vintage. I don't know in other countries how well they're known, but they've got like an Icon series that they do. And they're somewhere between like £300 and £500. And the relicking on this very much reminds me of the relicking you get on those cheaper brand guitars. It's cool, it looks awesome from a distance, but just when you get up close, it's very jagged and not very natural looking. The setup and feel of this straight out of the box, I've said this before, where I think some of the long-time viewers of this channel maybe are probably starting to think that I've got a vendetta against Mexican-made Fenders, and I honestly don't. Fender have made thousands and thousands of fantastic instruments over the years out of the Mexican facilities, and my favorite telly that I own is a Mexican telly, but I am finding more and more these days that there are quality issues with Fenders as you get them out of the box new. I don't know what's happened over the last few years apart from obviously COVID. I don't know if that's had anything to do with it and the workforce that they've got over there, but the setup on this out of the box was almost unplayable. It was set up for slide and then some, with a QA card stuck to it saying it had a full setup and been checked and signed off by everyone at the factory. This isn't just a slight temperature change thing. This, like, the setup on this was horrible. The frets had not been polished. The ends of the frets, very, very good. The actual frets themselves, it's like they hadn't even bothered. Now, our guitar tech, gave this a full look over, set it up. It plays awesomely now, so with a setup, this feels like a great guitar. I love the 60s style neck on this, but out of the box, 0 out of 10 for the setup that they sent this thing out with. That should not happen. I know some people will say, yeah, but it's a Mexican-made cheaper instrument, you should buy American. No. The PRS SEs that you get out of the Court factory, 99% of those come set up perfectly. Stuff that comes out the Court factory in general comes out set up perfectly. There are loads of companies that send their guitars out perfectly. This, for a £1,800 instrument, should not come out of the factory needing a full setup, fret polish, and all that kind of stuff. That is completely unacceptable. But once it has been set up, which G's done with this one, it plays amazingly. I play one of these live, and by that I mean if you gave me one of these and said you got to take this on tour for a year and you're only allowed to play one of these or a selection of these, I would have no problem with that. As long as they've been set up and the intonation's all in and all that kind of stuff, I would have no problem playing these. Yes, when you get close up and look at the relicking on it, it looks a bit cheap, but the feel of the neck is great. The pickups sound great. They are very, very versatile. I would have no problem taking this on tour for a year and just playing it as my main guitar. Is there anything that I don't like about the guitar or that I would change about the guitar? Now, obviously it is a signature instrument, so it is made to what Mike wants, and it is a hell of a Strat. He's done a great job with Fender in getting this out to the people. Me, personally, I'd want the bridge pickup just voiced a little bit darker. I know you could roll the tone off a little bit, but just as a default, I'd want that a little bit darker. Other than that, just for Fender to put more care into the setup and general finishing of this as it comes out of the factory. Other than that, great instrument. Is the guitar worth the money? At, as I say, 1700-ish pounds in the UK, it's a very, very good guitar, especially when it's been set up. I'm not saying that they're all going to not be set up, but taking this particular example, which is all I can do, it's the only one I've played, so taking this example that's come brand new out of the box, you should not be paying that much money for what I call a DIY guitar, where you get the basic guitar and you've got to do loads of setup work to it yourself. And I just want to be clear with that, that it's not just a case of a simple truss rod tweak and it'll take 2 minutes to set it up. It's a vintage style Strat, so the truss rod is up in here. So it's strings off, either pick guard off and do the truss rod, or neck off and do the truss rod. It is not a quick job to do. It is very involved to get it done, and that is not acceptable on a guitar at this price point, in my opinion. As I said, I'm not saying they'll all be like that, but I can only take this one that's come out of the box brand new, and on that basis, is it worth that money when you've got to do that amount of work to it? No, it's not. So there we go, that is my general opinion on this guitar. It's, once all of the little issues and niggles have been sorted out, it is an awesome guitar. The neck feels amazing in my hands. The profile is just really, really nice. The pickups sound fantastic. It's just once those little niggles that shouldn't have been there on this guitar were sorted out, it is a great instrument. As I said, from a distance, it looks awesome. Up close, the finishing looks a little bit cheap, but I get that. It is a mass-produced version of a custom shop instrument, which is a custom shop version of a genuinely worn old instrument. So I get you're not going to get that level of custom shop finishing on this guitar, but it is a fantastic guitar. And if you see one in a shop, especially on display for you to try, hopefully if it's had any issues like this one did out of the box, hopefully they've sorted it out for people to try in the shop. I would love to know. Let me know. If you see one in a shop and you try it, let me know what you think. If you bought one new in a sealed box that's not been checked over by a shop, I'd love to know if yours had the issues that this one had. But other than that, just let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all those YouTubey things that help us grow, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.